Platinum Pro Diamond Division champion Aria Blake. We're in Fort Lauderdale. There's a big Platinum Pro show going on here at the VFW. So, Aria, what inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
So I started watching wrestling in December 2008, and my brother was a fan at the time. I didn't really have any idea of wrestling. I knew it existed. I could name like the top wrestlers just from seeing them on like entertainment news shows and such. But I was hanging out with my brother one night and I saw my first women's match. It was, I believe, Michelle McCool versus Maurice with Maria Kanellis as the ref. It was late December 2008, so it's on record somewhere. And I probably have a small piece of it, right? But I saw that and I was like, women can do this, and they're not these giant, massive boulders. Like, they can be women of all shapes and sizes and heights and all that. So that inspired me. And Jeff Hardy was on the same show that night, and his wrestling blows my mind. He's still my favorite wrestler. But it was pretty much like, I saw the women and I was like, okay, this has my attention. And then I see Jeff Hardy and I'm like, I need to do this. Like, I love this. I want to do this. I want to do all the stuff he's doing. He drew me into wrestling.
Aria, tell us your height and your weight, because you're saying you didn't have to be a China type. You didn't have to be this awesome Kong type to get into this. So for you, what was your height and weight?
I'm a small little thing. I'm 5'2" and about 100, and I go between 108 to 110 pounds. Little.
So being that, since you've mentioned it about what you saw when you're watching those matches and that anyone could do it, what was it like for you when you first started training and those that you were training with and just trying to get comfortable with that?
Well, luckily I am trained properly. I was trained by Jay Lethal, so I had, a good ring, a good teacher, an overall good setup. I have an athletic background, so that really helped. It was nothing like hitting the mat or hitting the ropes or anything, but I mean, I've played soccer, I was a competitive cheerleader, a gymnast, I ran track for a year. So it's not like I went into this being somebody that just sits on their butt all day. It is definitely different than any sport, because in soccer, you practice just kicking the ball down the field, kicking it the other way. Don't let the other people score or whatever, and that's about it. But wrestling, there's so much more to it. So I took to it quickly. Physically, I think, you have to get used to taking bumps and bruises and you're flinching and all that stuff, but it goes away in time, and I feel like I've just learned so much throughout it. Physically, it's just kind of become not as hard of a problem as other aspects of it.
When you first went to train, we're trying to keep this on the same subject, so just going a little more with it. Did you feel then that when you were training that the height and the weight wasn't an issue for you? Or did you feel like coming in, oh wow, do I have to get bigger, do I have to get stronger, things like that?
Going into it, I always had an athletically slim build forever, and going into it I was like, okay, more muscle would probably make it hurt when I land on my back less, and if I do a little bit more cardio, hitting the ropes might not be as bad. But when I started training alongside Aspen Rose, who is my size, if not smaller. So it's not like I was training with giant humans that tower over me like crazy. Like, I had someone like me. And then we had a couple other guys, nobody too huge. Then our second class came, and that was a lot of taller guys, like Hunter Law and Troy Hollywood and Danny Vincent. Snoop Strikes is short, but he hits like a tall person. So I went from wrestling with Aspen and the other guys we had that were just, normal sized dudes. And then I'm getting my butt beat at training by these guys who want to throw exploder suplexes and kick me in the head. And my neck cracked for the first time because my boyfriend kicked me in the head. So, it started as, I love wrestling, I know it's going to be physical. Luckily, I've got this girl that's the same size too. Oh shit, I'm training with the guys constantly. And my body got used to it over time.
Now, who are some of your favorites?
Jeff Hardy, if you didn't know by now. Rey Mysterio, Edge, Christian, CM Punk. I think that's 5. Shawn Michaels, I think that's my top 5. I get it out of order, literally depending on the day, or I need to watch this type of match, so I've been watching this person a lot, and now they're my favorite for a week. But those are my top 5.
What do you like about pro wrestling?
Everything. Oh my gosh, everything. I love learning. I'm a college student, so I like learning new things, learning from other people. The experiences, the places that it takes me. I haven't toured the world or anything. Like, I'm not anything by any means yet, but the places that it has been taking me to and the people that I've met have been very awesome and rewarding. And I think what makes me happiest as I'm growing up and stuff, I can just always turn on wrestling and feel that happiness when I was 14 watching my first match all over again. Like, I go on the network, I'll watch WrestleMania 25, like Taker versus Shawn, and I'll be like, nothing in life matters right now because this is such a good match and they're iconic. And wrestling makes me so happy. So it lifts me out of bad moods, it makes me friends, it does everything. I love wrestling.